Hey guys, all right, it is Sunday, January 15th, day after my birthday, day after my 40th birthday. Yesterday was a very frozen day. I had a very long day of productivity and reflection of my life, and we were frozen in with an ice storm, so I didn't get to really celebrate, which is fine because I did. I did. So what I decided, and I put this kind of all over my Facebook, since yesterday was so frozen and I couldn't celebrate my birthday, I decided this is a big year. So I'm celebrating 365 days of my 40th year. And yesterday started off frozen because this year is going to be frozen in time because it is going to be so incredibly amazing that it's one for the history books. So it's going to be frozen in time. Pretty snazzy. So today's promise is found in Psalms 30. What am I in? 37:24. Psalms 37:24. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. That's so cool. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. I had a quick thought when before I do these, I look on I look them up on my phone, and then I go to the Bible and I underline them, and then I put the date next to each promise. So when I ever go back, I will come across it and I'll know that this was the promise of the day. But so when I looked at it first on my phone, and then as I was looking it up in my Bible, I was thinking very quickly, it came into my head about the Lord upholds him with his hand. Flip that, the Lord holds him up, right? Same thing, holds him up with his hand. But then I even took it a little bit farther that we're God's children. So when I picture that, I picture us as littles. We're littles to him. So we're always reaching up, holding his hand, and our dad is holding our hand, holding us up. So once we start following Christ and our life changes and we turn away from all of our old funky ways, even when we fall, we can never fall hard. It might feel bad, it might hurt, it might be really scary, but we'll never, ever, ever fall again like we fell before we were with him. Like when you're not in Christ, you can fall and I hit rock bottom. Well, that hurts really, really bad. Really bad. And you feel like you're never going to come back up from that. I know, I've been there. It hurts. It's scary. It's like takes your breath away and you feel like you're dying. But when you're with Christ, when Christ is in you and you're living a different life because of him, there's not a single possible way that you can fall like that. Like you either turn and you walk with Christ and you walk in his ways, or you turn away from Christ and you walk in your mess of whatever it is. If it's drugs, if it's drinking, if it's really bad thoughts, if it's obsessions, addictions, whatever. Like you can't do both. You just can't do both. Eventually one erases the other. So if you're walking in Christ and you have an addiction, you're not fully committed to walking in Christ. And people say, oh, it's, an addiction is just that bad. And it is. It's really bad. I've seen people die from addictions and it's horrific. And they try really, really, really hard to know Christ and be with Christ, but they've allowed their addiction to have more of a hold on them than they allow Christ to have a hold on them. And it's like they give more credit to their addiction, to their demons, than they do to God. And so it gives the demons the more capability and more ability to keep holding you down. And when it says the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy, that's what it does. Any walk that you're walking that is not on the right path of God, it's going to kill you. Mentally, physically, literally. Say you drink too much. Guess what? It's going to kill you. You're going to rot out your liver and you're going to die eventually. And you're going to speed, we're all going to die. But when you're doing stuff like that, it speeds up your time. If you are very selfish and you're living a life of all about me, what can I get? What do I have? I have to work so hard to have the things I want. You're going to stress out over that stuff, trying to hang on to what you have, and stress is going to kill you. You're going to hurt your heart. You're going to have a heart attack, whatever. If you sleep around too much, you're addicted to sex, whatever, that can kill you. You can get things that can kill you. So if you're not walking in the light of Christ, you're walking in the darkness, and the darkness is full of nastiness and funk and disease, and it will pull you down, spirit, soul, mind, body, everything. It'll pull you down. If you're walking in Christ, you turn away from all of that. You can't do both. You can't. It's total opposite ends of the spectrum. So when I read that, though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. No matter what I do in my life now, because I've got God all around me, all inside of me, ahead of me, behind me, to my sides, he's everywhere in my life. No matter what I go through, I will never fall as hard as I fell before. Even with financial struggles, it sucks, it hurts, it's scary, but it doesn't hurt like it did. I'll never fall like I fell before. So that promise, I live that promise all the time. I might stumble. No, it doesn't even say I may stumble. It says, though he may stumble, he will not fall. So it doesn't even say that we will stumble, even though it's kind of inevitable we will. But it says, though he may stumble. So what's a surefire way to make sure that you don't stumble? Wow, that was right there. You may stumble. That's not an emphatic. That's not a you will. That's a you may. So one way to keep yourself from stumbling, keep your eyes on Christ. Period. The end. Keep your eyes, know his ways, know his characteristics, know his expectations, know what he expects of you, know who he thinks that you are, and you strive at a level that matches that. And if you do that, you won't fall. That's pretty good. For the Lord upholds him with his hand. So even if you turn away from him for a second, because we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Even if you turn away from him for a second and you stumble, he's got your hand. It's just like if any of you are parents and you're holding your little toddler's hand and they're toddling around and their little feet just, and they catch one of their feet and they stumble. What do? You lift them up a little bit so they don't fall. That's the same thing. We may stumble, but we will. It says we may stumble. You will not fall. That's an emphatic. You might stumble because we're not perfect. We take our eyes off of him and we put our eyes on our own ways and what can we do to make something happen. And we don't seek his ways first and his will and his ideas and whatever. We do it all on our own. So yeah, we stumble, but we will not fall because we do seek him, right? So if I seek him in everything I do, I won't stumble. Therefore, I won't fall. He upholds me with his hand. How awesome is it that our God holds us with his hand? So awesome. The creator of the universe, who put the stars in the sky and built all the mountains and made the depths of the seas and the whales and the little teeny tiny anemones, made us, and he holds me in his hand. That is so cool. I'm so thankful for that. Psalms 37:24. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. Very cool. Thank you. I needed that. Night 17. 17. Standing on his promises. Too cool. This is going to be a great year. Stay tuned for the coolness. Okay. Good night. Sleep well. It's getting a little... It's actually not late. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. It might be 10 o'clock now. But I'm a little ahead of my schedule, which is really cool. So I'm going to make it an early night, get on my jammies, and go to bed. Have a good one. Talk to you tomorrow. Night, night.